Hello, I'm Haley, and this is Taya, and welcome to Haley and Taya Rip Up Supernatural and Start Over, and also sometimes talk about other stuff, a podcast.
Also known as HATRUSA. And this week we are talking about Season 1, Episode 2.
The episode which will remain unnamed.
Unnamed, yes. This is going to be a redacted name episode. If you are all that curious and you don't know what it's called, you can Google it yourself. There's like multiple Supernatural Wikipedias. Fun fact. There's actually two. The one I usually use is supernatural.fandom.com, but there's another one that doesn't have the subtitle, Scary is the New Sexy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But I did want to say right off the bat that we are not going to be saying the creature's name at all in this recording. The creature used this week is a sacred Algonquin spirit. It is a closed culture, meaning people outside of it shouldn't be using it for cryptids or horror stories or anything like this, really. I personally didn't have a chance to do much research on it myself, aside from a few posts from Tumblr, which I will be linking in the show notes wherever you're watching. So if you're curious, you can look there. But I highly recommend, if you are going to look into this, to look for actual, like, native
Sources?
Posts? Sources is a great word. Sources, journals, websites. I couldn't find any in my very quick search. It's been a little bit of a busy week. So, definitely, that's just why we're not going to say it. And we're also not going to talk about lore a bunch this week because, honestly, it seems like it wasn't the most accurate thing ever. And it's also not our place to tweak it. So,
facts.
That's the dealio.
Our biggest tweak is pick a different fucking monster. Oh my god.
Pick a different monster. That's our big change for this episode.
Pick a different monster.
That's the big change. The big change is don't do this.
Don't do this. Episode 2,
don't do this.
Not this one.
No. Not this one.
Not this one.
And we're going to do a quicker summary this time because, one, we're getting better. We're learning.
We're figuring this out.
And also, because this episode is actually kind of boring.
It was not the hot shit that we remember it being from our...
I don't know if I remember it being hot shit.
Can you let me...
But
Can you let me be exaggerative?
Okay, yes. I will say that I always imagine it to be episode 1 for some reason because the pilot is so unmemorable. So I'm always like, oh yes, this is the camping episode is episode 1, but it's always episode 2.
See, I'll just get really excited next episode, and that's all I care about.
Oh yeah, no. Next episode is where I think we'll finally be able to have some fun.
Oh yeah.
So here's the quickest summary ever. I think we're in Colorado.
We're in Colorado.
Haley says we're in Colorado.
The Wikipedia says we're in Colorado.
We're trusting the Wikipedia on this one. Just so we are clear, we watched this last night. Things got a little funky with scheduling, so...
And we got tired.
We got tired. For anyone who does end up listening to that commentary, apologies, because we definitely went on a tangent about Haley's cat.
Yeah, and also there was like a solid 5 minutes where neither of us were saying anything. We were just really invested in what was going on.
Yeah, it is arguably a boring episode, and I don't know why, because it's the second episode. It's... Whatever. Quick summary. So we start off, we're camping. It's 3 dudes, they're camping. One goes out to pee.
One has a puka shell necklace on.
One does have a puka necklace on. Someone is playing a DS, I think.
Yep. And it's the classic, it's classic DS. It's not even the DS Lite, it's like bulky classic DS.
Yeah, it's 2005.
Yes.
We're in 2005. We have a bandana around the head.
Right.
There's screaming, there's slashing, there's blood. Okay, we do the weird supernatural glitch intro. Sam is at Jess's grave, putting down flowers. I'm really depressed. Haley is laughing at me.
I don't think I was so laughing!
I can't remember.
I actively said that it made me sad. I actively said it made me sad because he said the line, I know you always thought roses were kind of lame, and I started crying a little bit.
Yeah, I mentioned I hated her gravestone because it's got a little picture of her.
That's
And I
not
was
even
like, oh,
a picture of her
it
because
doesn't look.
it's missing her little
Yeah,
mole.
yeah, and it doesn't look that much like her because she has like bangs and straight hair. I was
Yeah.
like, is she like 16 in this? Like,
God,
could they
imagine
not?
Taya, imagine dying and your family using a picture of you from when you were like 10.
Oh no! Oh God! What a nightmare.
That's so
Anyway. Anyway, the boys are going around, and I think that they're brought to this spot in Colorado because of coordinates that they found in their dad's journal.
Right.
And basically they find out, ayo, this boy has gone missing. And the park ranger is like, it hasn't been so long. He said he was going to be gone for X amount of time and blah, blah, blah,
And
blah,
everybody
blah,
in the
blah,
town
blah.
is like, it was just a grizzly bear. And Dean and Sam are like, a grizzly bear, you say?
A grizzly bear. Yes, and I forget the order they talked about it in, but they talked to two goth girls in a diner about it. They talked to an old man, and then they go and meet the minor characters that are going to be in this episode, whose brother is one of the three campers who got grabbed at the beginning. Haley and I think the younger boy is named
It's Ben, yep.
Because, yeah, Haley and Ben. And basically they're like, hey, we're forest rangers. Let's go.
Which Haley picks up on quickly that they are not forest rangers, and she's
oh
like,
my God.
Why do you have a duffel bag? That's weird. And Dean is like, listen, I'm sexy, you're sexy, let me get down and level with you.
They got some dude named Roy with them. He's like a guide. And he's kind of just like, you two don't know what you're doing. Let me do what I want. And he has like a rifle.
Yeah. Dean almost steps in a bear trap.
Yeah, because he's dumb. And it would be hilarious if that was episode 2.
Really
Dean
wish
gets
that
his
happened.
foot amputated. That would have been a wild plot twist.
Yeah.
So then there's like, it's like a lot of them walking through the woods.
For a long time.
Like a long time. And then Roy gets grabbed, and then there's more walking through the woods. And walking through the woods. And then Roy falls out of a tree, and they're like, his neck is broken!
And like Dean kind of like kicks his head to see that his neck is broken. It kind of like wobbles around a little bit. It was like really humorous in the worst way, because what are you doing? But whatever, it's fine. Like,
it's fine.
And then
totally
Haley
fine.
and Dean get captured by the creature. But it's okay because Dean has read Hansel and Gretel.
Is it? Yes, it is Haley. I couldn't remember. I was like, was it Haley and Dean or Ben and Dean?
Yes, it is Haley and Dean.
Yeah, because Dean didn't bring any snacks. He just brought a giant ass bag of M&Ms.
It was fucking, hey, what's the gun thing when there's a gun and it's used later?
Chekhov's gun?
It's Chekhov's M&Ms.
Yeah. And they make a lame Hansel and Gretel reference, and you're like, yeah, everyone knows Hansel and Gretel. And anyway, they find a cave. Tommy is still miraculously alive. They cut him down. The creature shows up. They start running. You can only kill this creature with fire. Dean makes them run the other direction, which don't split the party, but I guess. But he tells Sam to get out, so Sam starts to get them out, and then Sam comes back, and the creature is chasing them, and then Sam is like, oh God, what do I do? And then Dean comes in and kills it, and then,
everyone's fine.
Everything, well, aside from Roy and the two other campers
everyone's fine.
Yeah, and Sam and Dean physically, and Dean has this moment with Haley where she like, I don't know, they have like this connection as like older siblings, I guess, where they like understand each other, and she kisses his cheek or whatever.
Man, I wish I had a connection with Dean.
Haley, shut up. I'm tempted to count that as your one. I won't, because I specifically said you're allowed to call him hot once an episode or attractive.
Thank you.
But I'm tempted. And there's this moment of Sam and Dean like watching what is their last name? Hold on, I'm on the Wikipedia page. The Collins get in. the Collins get into this ambulance where they're like, man, that's what family is supposed to be. And then they're like, let's keep hunting for Dad. And
yeah, and Dean tells Sam that he can drive baby.
Yeah, well, actually, I think Sam is like, I'm driving, because Dean is like really banged up.
I don't remember. It was a full 24 hours ago.
Hold on.
Okay.
Dean jokes that he hates camping and informs Sam that they will find their dad. Sam agrees, but in the meantime, he's driving.
Oh, okay, fine, yeah. Well, Sam's driving baby. So there's our quick little summary, and it was boring. It was a lot of forest episodes.
It's a lot of forest episode, and I wouldn't say that the banter in this is, like, fun enough. Like, the characters weren't that interesting.
No,
Roy is just annoying and then dead. Ben doesn't, like, have any lines. And Haley is just kind of there.
She was annoying. I, like, actively made a mention while we were watching it that she was just getting on my nerves. And I got really angry, and I was like, first of all, that's my name. Can you please do it some justice? And second of all, fucking make your girls better.
Hey, Supernatural?
Make your girls better.
Have you considered making your girls better?
It might be, that should be important.
I know we, like, already have started naming our episodes, like, introduction, like, the name of the episode and the number, but it would be really great if we just named this one, Make Your Girls Better, because she's the only named girl in this one, I think.
Yeah,
because it doesn't have any of the co-stars. There's, like, those two goth girls aren't listed as named characters. They're only in one scene, to be fair, but, like, make your girls better, and make there be more of them.
For sure.
Please. Anyway, continue on with your notes, so.
Okay. So, this time while I was watching, I actually made notes, which was what my intention was from the beginning, but then I forgot to. But I did this time! So.
I'm proud of you.
This section is called Haley's Notes. It's very creative. The first note that I've taken, Taya,
Haley's
is about
grievances.
The obvious green screen while they were driving in Baby in the beginning of the episode.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
It was very clear that it was a green screen, especially on the zoom-ins where you could see the frayed edges of Sam's hair contrasting against the blurring of the green screen edge.
Yeah.
I fantastic. Thank you.
I will say, for the second episode of a show, you know, it's 2005. Like, I'm not gonna kill them over it. It was just very funny.
It was very fun.
Especially because, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think their effects ever really get that top notch. Are we gonna talk about the creature later and how the creature looked?
Yep. That is down there.
Okay, then I won't talk about that now.
We gotta go chronologically.
Yeah, I will say, I guess maybe it was cheaper to just do a green screen, but what people usually do for filming, like, driving scenes is they put the car on, like, a flatbed and just drive that, and then you get all your shots from, like, the road during other, like, driving scenes.
Right.
But for the ones where you need close-ups and you need moving things in the background, you just have it on a flatbed so you can have your camera crew standing on, like, you know, the flatbed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was less expensive for them to buy, like, a cheap-as-hell green screen or something, but it looked bad. It was hilariously bad.
It was really good. I think we had a really good long chuckle about it, for sure.
We did, because they were just driving and talking, and we were like, we don't have jokes to make. We're not funny.
And on top of this, we did, we noticed that there was a weird discretion, I guess, is not the right word at all, but discrepancy is the word, between episode 1 Dean and Sam and episode 2 Dean and Sam, where they look like just older enough to tell, to be like, how long was it between filming of episode 1 and 2?
Oh, yeah. I think it's a little bit less obvious with Sam, because I think Jared just aged a little slower at first.
Yeah.
but it's, like, really obvious for Dean. I was like, this man has aged. And I don't know if it's, like, they had him, like, shave, because I feel like he was, like, stubbly in the first episode.
That was it.
But, like, it was weird, because I was like, whoa, this is supposed to be, like, within...
a week, a month, a week,
a week.
Yeah,
I would say he stayed long enough for Jess to be buried. And for them to apparently have fresh grass over the grave. But I'm not... Who fucking cares? But it definitely, like, was like, this looks older. So it does make you wonder, like, I wonder how much time there was between the pilot and when this actually got picked up.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit curious about it. Not curious enough to see if it's on Google, but it was interesting.
Yeah. So, my next note... I did make the note that there were a lot of hand-related jump scares in this episode that really got me for some reason.
You got jump scared a lot.
I don't like jump scares. They freak me out, and hands also freak me out.
That's fair.
No, like, I don't really know why. They just make me uncomfortable sometimes. So, like, every time there was a hand jump scare, it really freaked me out. So that's just one. Now, Taya, I think this is my favorite note that I've made, though.
Yeah?
I've written, Sam has depression. That's it. It just says, Sam has depression.
Me too. I don't even remember a specific moment in it, but, like, same, buddy.
I don't know why, but that's what I wrote. So...
Me as well.
Just to let everybody know, Sam has depression.
In case anyone was curious, after watching his girlfriend be brutally killed
he's
in
not
the same
doing
way
great.
He's been told his mother was killed, he's not doing too hot.
No.
It was probably because he was, like, really, like, kind of, like, I wouldn't say aggressive, because we see aggressive Sam, but he was, like, very, like, intense at times.
Yeah.
And we were like, buddy?
Yep. We're not having fun yet. So, that's a fun note. And then I've written shit lighting, which is, I know, one of your biggest gripes.
Oh my god!
So I'd like you to riff off of this for a hot second.
Okay. I went off on this so much during the commentary.
I'm pretty sure you've gone off on this in like, our group chats before.
I've gone off in group chats with you. I've gone off about it in real life. I've gone off about it in Tumblr tags. I've gone off about it in every goddamn server I'm in where a CW show shows up. Because I swear to God, to God, Supernatural is the place where CW decided, fuck you. You get one light bulb. You get one light bulb and nothing else. Fuck you. Fuck our viewers. They shouldn't be able to see shit. There are so many scenes in this episode where you can see half of someone's face or less. Or nothing. Straight up nothing. You can't see jack shit.
Right.
It doesn't help that they wear dark clothing, and there are scenes in the woods that are so mind-boggling because it's daylight and their faces are cast in shadow, and the background is whoever did the color correction has blown it out so the background, like the whites are really high, so instead of just looking like a natural green, all the forest looks very pale, to the point of almost looking white. But in the foreground with all the characters, like, all of their faces are in shadow and you can't see them, and I'm like, what's going on? And then when they're in the cave,
mad about the forest scenes.
It looked so bad when they're in the cave fighting the creature, and we're going to talk about the creature later because you never see it, which is maybe a good thing. Like, you never truly see what it looks like. But in that scene, there's, like, one source of lighting from, like, one side, and you can see maybe, like, 1/8 of Dean's face, and I'm like, come on, guys, learn to shoot a show. What the fuck are the GIF editors supposed to do with this? They're gonna have to raise up the brightness and the contrast by, like, 1,000,000.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't explain to you how infuriating it is, because this is not just a Supernatural problem. I've watched my fair share of CW shows. It becomes a problem in Teen Wolf too. It's a problem in Riverdale at times. But, like, it's so bad in Supernatural, and it wasn't this bad last episode.
I really thought you were about to say this is not just a TV show. Just for the record. I was like, whoa, change of pace.
It is so stressful, and I don't know anything about lighting. I don't know how many fucking lights they had on set, but there are just so many scenes where you can't see jack shit, and you can't see character expressions, and you can't really tell what's going on. And I know it wasn't the brightness of my computer, because the brightness of my computer was all the way up. You just can't see. And I'm gonna stop now, because I think it's been like 5 minutes about me ranting about lights.
I love it. Honestly.
Continue.
Okay. My next note after shitty lighting is, where did Dean put the leather jacket? In this episode, we noticed that Dean is wearing a leather jacket, and I'm going to use my one. It looked pretty damn sexy. Like, it was a look, and it was working for me. But we noticed that, like, I don't remember him having a leather jacket in the later seasons very often. It's just usually his weird little canvasy green jacket. Where did the leather go? Is it from his dad? Will we ever know? Probably not.
I mean, we might be able to find some meta on it where someone talks about it. My personal... Because it doesn't look like it fits him super well, which, if so, and if this was unintentional, costuming department, pull it together.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it looked a little bit too big, which made me think that it was John's. And my hope is that when he realized John was a piece of shit, he just set it on fire.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we riffed about that a little bit watching the episode. I was really excited about the idea of a leather jacket. But then we already touched on M&Ms, but I wanted to make note of the M&M product placement. It was just very funny. He holds up the entire bag of peanut M&Ms to the camera. And actually, hold on, I need to know.
Such a big bag. Huh?
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. I just thought it would be really funny if, like, peanut M&Ms were, like, new when this happened. But, like, I don't know when they came out. But apparently peanut M&Ms came out in 1954. So that wasn't the deal. But...
Okay, that makes... Okay, that would have been very funny.
I just thought it would have been really funny.
Low bit rate CW show to get product placement from M&M's.
Yeah.
But it was very funny because it is, like, the largest bag of M&M's
It's, like, one of
ever.
the family-size ones that, like... I mean... This is a weird personal anecdote, but, like, my dad buys them and, like, tries to hide them in the house from my mom, but, like, my mom finds them, and then they disappear. And it's like, where'd they go? Well, they've been eaten, father. But that's the kind of bag it is.
It was also weird because, like, that's the reason Haley is, one of the reason Haley is, like, you're not a ranger. Like, you didn't bring, like... food. You brought M&Ms. And I was just like, why did you bring M&Ms? You've been hunting since you were, I think, 4 or 6.
Yeah, since you were a little baby.
Why didn't you bring granola bars? Like,
yeah.
Weird choice, but it was funny, I guess. So.
And honestly, that's a rewrite thing we gotta keep up with. They need to get better at carrying nutritional snacks with them while they're hunting. I know they don't take great care of themselves, but Jesus Christ, get a box of Quaker oat bars. Like, please, they're so easy to carry around. They don't even have to be Quaker. They can be store brand. That's fine. They're cheaper. I know you, but also I know you have the money because you steal credit cards.
Yeah, I really, that reminds me that when they show the ranger badge, like they show her a ranger, like, identification card, Haley that is, when they show up to their house, they're like, we want to talk about your brother. And it's, like, very clearly laminated and poorly cut, and it's, like, the funniest thing ever. And also, I was just going to say, if we want them to have nutritional stuff but still want product placement, I think we should consider goo. I don't know if you would know what it is.
What the fuck are you? What?
Okay, so it's spelled G-U, and it's this, like, it's something that, like, bikers and, like, people who do intense training do.
Okay.
And they've really, I'm looking at their website right now, and they've really expanded. But when I used to do triathlons, they had this energy gel thing, and it was basically just, like, a little, like, maybe, like, the size of your palm packet that you'd rip open, and it's just, like, the flavor I have is chocolate, and it was kind of just, like, goo. Well, so it was just, like, thick chocolate syrup, basically, and it was just, like, an energy, it was, like, an energy boost.
Right, great.
And I just
wanted to share with you that I tried to look up pictures of it, and this is what it gave me. So, for the audience listening, I googled goo images, and it came up with a stock photo of somebody holding a piece of shit in their hand. So, that's where I'm at.
That's not at all. I'll send you a picture of it. Okay. Anyone else can, who wants to Google it, it's Goo Energy GU. But anyway, we should continue on because we're running long again.
So, I've also made note of the fact that the same imagery is used in this episode as there is in later episodes, which obviously is a gripe that we cannot complain about because we're not there yet, but it's a gripe that you noticed and we talked about briefly when we were watching. Dean and Haley are both strung up by their wrists in the monster's cave, and this is an imagery that is used at least one more time later in the Genie episode.
Yeah, I believe. It's pretty, even like it being in the dark and stuff, it's pretty standard.
Yeah. So that happened, and then the last note that I've made is there's never a clear look at the monster, which we've mentioned might be a good thing. We just kind of get like a couple little shots of his little chicken legs and creepy little claws.
There's like a slight glimpse of the face when Dean shoots it with a flare gun, and it like kind of explodes, and you kind of see how translucent it is and like the bones, but you really don't get a good look at this monster.
The good look that we do get is on its arms, and when we get looks at its arms, it's very clear that there's arm socks on that actor. I'm very familiar with arm socks. I like Homestuck, so I know what they're like, and I know the texture that they look like when they're on arms, and that's it. They're arm socks. That guy is wearing arm socks.
Yeah, and I'll say this monster this creature isn't good.
No.
Not in the sense that, like, well, first of all, they shouldn't have used it, but they didn't implement it well in a suspenseful way. I don't think there was, maybe it was because we were so tired. And Haley did get jump scared like 3 times.
It was just spooky.
But it wasn't like suspenseful in a way you'd expect. And maybe that's just because like since this episode came out, or maybe this was before this episode came out, but like things like Slender Man and stuff have come out. And like really I feel like that's more like the vibe you'd expect from like a creature in the woods that's stalking you. And you don't get that vibe from this episode. You don't get this like scary vibe. You just get this romp through the woods with Hansel and Gretel jokes and Dean joking about how he doesn't wear shorts. Like, okay,
yeah,
it's a disappointing episode.
But he does wear shorts in the gym teacher episode.
Well, that's something we can discuss when we get to that. Are we done with your notes?
Yeah, that's all the notes that I've taken today.
All right. Next up, this is exciting. Crack shipping background characters.
The Goth Girls Kiss. The Goth Girls Kiss.
Yes.
The Goth Girls that we meet in the diner.
Two unnamed Goth girls. Yep,
two
unnamed Goth girls.
One of them wears a pentagon, and one of them wears a cross.
Cross. They both have piercings. They both have that like early 2000s eyeliner. They're both lesbians.
They kiss.
And they're dating. They were actually like planning to go on a date, but then kind of got interrupted by the Winchesters, which was really rude of them. And that is our background crack ship of the week. And honestly, they're the only ones I care about, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need some goth lesbians, and I really think that Supernatural could have delivered, like, real hard on some goth lesbians, like, goth lesbians. Ooh, we could have had some, like, really good butch lesbians, too, and we got Charlie and whatever Charlie's girlfriend's name is, but, like, they really could have gone all out, and they didn't, and that's something we have to live with, unfortunately.
Yep, and I don't know if that's okay, but...
It isn't.
Yeah. But you know what? You know what is okay?
What?
Music being used in media. Today's episode was brought to you by Hot Blooded by Foreigner, which I don't remember hearing, but also I was tired.
I don't remember any of the songs. Like, they'll be like, oh, this song played it. I'll be like, did it? I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Clicking through the wiki, apparently Tommy shows up again in season 8.
Whoa! I don't remember that.
That fucking sucks for him. Oh, yeah, season 8 clip show.
I see. Well,
that sucks
fine.
for him. Oh my god! Ooh, that's unfortunate. I'm so sorry, Tommy. Oh my god. Anyway, my favorite thing on the wiki is that this isn't funny. It just makes me sad. But it mentions that Jessica's birthday is on January 24th, same as Dean's, meaning that the only two people that Sam cared about had the same exact birthday.
Great.
Which is really... I'm really sad about Jess, and there's nothing very funny on this one.
Well, my favorite thing on the Wikipedia is, the creature is specifically the Colorado creature. I don't know why, but I like that. I just think that's, like, kind of fun. It's like, oh, that's the one from Colorado. The only one from Colorado. There's only one of them, and it's this one.
Just the Colorado one. I actually have changed my mind. I like the fact, and I understand that the Wikipedia people who edit this are trying to be thorough. I've actually decided that my favorite one on this is the under cultural references, and it's Sam saying it's better than breadcrumbs about the M&Ms, because, again, a trail of M&Ms is left behind. And it says, a reference to the Grimm's fairy tale, Hansel and Gretel, in which the children leave a trail of breadcrumbs through the forest so they'll be able to find their way home. As if every person on the planet, and I'm sure there are some who don't know Hansel and Gretel. I just think it's very funny that they needed to clarify. It's not subtle.
Oh, wait.
None of these cultural references are subtle.
I'd like to follow up with my second favorite thing, is that the finished title for this episode is The Forest of Horror. What a fun episode title.
I like Beast.
Well, yeah, but that's not as fun as The Forest of Horror.
It's not. I like The Forest of Horror because, you know, like, this creature arguably could have been scary, and it should have been scary, and maybe in middle school it was scary to me.
Yeah.
But watching that episode, you can hear us yawning.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough.
But
it wasn't a great one.
It's okay because
it wasn't a great one, but I am looking forward to the next one, because the next one is genuinely one of the creepiest, and I would say right now, having not watched it, one of their best Monster of the Week style episodes.
And also my favorite episode.
Because it fits all of Haley's tastes.
It's all of them. So, Taya,
yes.
I have a question.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Are we gonna see dead kids?
I don't know. Are we gonna see some bathtubs?
Perhaps. But that's...
I don't remember anything else about this episode.
It's fine. Because we'll catch you on the flip side.
We will catch you on the flip side. Goodbye.
Goodbye.